Well, Merry Christmas and welcome to my video. I am Mickey B. Have we met? If not, it's nice to meet you. I'm going to be cooking my little Christmas meal today, and I figured I'd record it and share it with you so that my mini-me can have it on file of what she grew up eating and how to prepare it. So with that said, what I'm going to start off, let me just show you. I'm going to be cooking some black-eyed peas with some smoked neck bones, and then some collard greens already cut and pre-washed, and then I've got the fixins to add to my turkey because I'll be preparing a turkey. So these are the three main items that I'm going to cut up to add to the turkey to create all those good smells and whatnot. So I've got my bell pepper, my onion, and my celery. We're going to start off with these collard greens and black-eyed peas because they're simple and quick to eat. And then I'm going to bring out the turkey. So here I have a very small kitchen, so I had to clean it up as best I could. So here's the lay of the land. Now, if you're wondering what this is here for, is I recycle these containers to put in my little waste from the cutting of the vegetables. All the waste I put in here, and then I throw that away. I try to repurpose as much as possible. And then I have my shea butter here because I wash my hands all the time and I hate to have dry feeling hands, so I've got that there. I've got the fridge here that's housing this big old gigantic turkey right there. I think that's about a 16-pounder. We'll visit him in a little bit. And then I've got my little microwave side, and then all my little toaster and hot water. So everything is just right here, right all on top of each other. And then I have my little makeshift island that I made here, where I'm gonna be using my KitchenAid to make the cornbread so I can make the dressing. And then I've got all my little appliances. I don't know why I'm showing you all this, but I got my appliances and extra things under there and little bowls and things under here. So I guess I felt the need to show you my kitchen. Oh, and also this extra stuff that I may need, my aluminum foil, my napkin, stuff like that. You know, so that way you don't have to stare in the background and see what's in my kitchen, and you can focus on what I'm cooking. Because I know when people watch videos, they're looking at everything else sometimes instead of the video. So now that you've seen the, oh, and the last thing is on top of the refrigerator here, this is what I'm going to be cooking my turkey in, is this turkey cooker right here. So I'll be getting that down later as well. And then those are extra appliances. I've got stuff on top of stuff, but I use it all. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is get my greens and my black-eyed peas in the pot to cook, and I'm going to split these two or this package of smoked pork neck bones. I'm going to put a couple pieces in with the black-eyed peas and a couple pieces in with the greens, and that's going to give them all the flavor that they need. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I got the neck bones opened up, and this is what's inside the package. We are going to split these up in these two pots. That's going to be the black-eyed peas, that the collard greens, and the first thing that I do is I put the neck bones in the pans, and then let's see, is that evenly distributed? Hopefully. So I only have one package of greens, so that big piece right there should be enough for the greens and that for the black-eyed peas. So what I do is, once I put it in the pot, then I go ahead and add a little water to it, each pot. Not too much, just a little to get the meat cooking so that the flavors of the neck bones can release into the pot before we add in the greens and the black-eyed peas. So that's about all. I don't really want to cover it and make it put in too much water, but we do need a little bit for each one. So once I do that, we're going to take it and put them on the stove to cook. And then once these guys have cooked for probably about 10-15 minutes, should be enough once they come to a boil to start boiling and cooking and releasing some of the flavor. Once they both get to that point, then I'm going to go ahead and add in the black-eyed peas and add in the greens. Hopefully I don't have you too close here. Alright, so we're going to give that about 15 minutes. And while this is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting up my vegetables. So this is where we start, right here, and then now I'm gonna go ahead and start chopping up my celery, onions, and bell pepper. All right, let's go ahead and start chopping up these veggies. And while I'm on the subject of chopping up veggies, here are my knives that I use. These are my favorite set of knives by Cuisinart. They're this color-coded one. This is my favorite one to use. It's I forgot the name of it now. It starts with an S. But these are a really great set of knives, and they're very sharp. And what I wanted to say about that is when you're cooking vegetables, you always want to have a sharp knife. It drives me crazy to see people using dull knives because it's so dangerous, and you wouldn't think it is, but it really is. You're more at risk of cutting yourself if you use a dull knife than a sharp one. So I just wanted to throw that little tip out there. I watch a lot of cooking shows. I just love it because it's peaceful programming, but that's one of the tips that I have taken away. So get yourself a good set of knives and a good sharp set of knives, and make cutting vegetables easier and safe. All right, let's get to cutting. And you guys, I gotta tell you that I am a gadget girl. I like my little gadgets. And I like to be organized and kind of prepared when I'm doing things, and I like to clean as I go. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut up this onion, and I'm cutting up everything that I think I'm going to need for the day, so that I don't have to cut it up every time I need an onion or a bell pepper or celery. And since that's the only bell pepper that I got, then I really need to make that one last and ration it out. So I want to see how much I'm working with up front, and that way I can know how much to use for each dish. And I only use it for the turkey and the dressing. Those are the main two. Everything else I just kind of go more with seasonings or just onions. So I guess I should have done this before I started recording. So let me just get it ready and then I'll be right back. Alright, got the onion ready to chop. The reason I wanted to come on here with this is I just wanted to kind of show the difference when you have a sharp knife. You should just slide right through your vegetable like that, or whatever you're cutting. And then for an onion, you always want to bend your fingers in like that and use your knuckles as a guide. And then if you could come through, I don't like to do that because I'm not that good, so I just kind of start here. And then you want like a sawing motion, either forward or back, forward or back. And then when you get to this part right here where it gets a little tricky, you just want to turn that over and just kind of try to keep everything as flat as possible, because that's safer. It won't go sliding around on you. Same thing with this one. Here's the bottom right here, so we're gonna just do this to just kind of get some good chops on the onion. And you want to keep your hand away anywhere that knife might slip, because sometimes the vegetables can be slippery. So keep your hand away, give yourself enough room in case there's a slip or something. You're not going to cut yourself, because nobody wants to be rushed to the hospital trying to prepare dinner, right? So there's the onion. Now if you need smaller pieces, then this is also where a sharp knife comes into play, because then you can just keep sliding it back and forth like that and going over it. Oh, my smoked pork neck bones are ready to have the greens and the black eyed peas added to them. So let's go ahead and do that, because my eyes are watering. I should have been burning a candle. Oh my gosh, they're burning. Okay, let's segue from here because the burning is getting to me. Okay, I think we're done here, because we'll go ahead and scoop this up, and then we'll go and add the greens and the black eyed peas to their pots. Because my eyes right now cannot take any more of these onions. But if you wanted to chop them any smaller, then of course you would just keep, taking the knife and just, just chopping like this, and then scoop them up in a stack, chop like that. And that's how you just continue to get more of a minced or a fine chop. Okay, so let's get these in, because every time I do that, oh, more of that burn starts to happen, which it's almost blinding right now. Oh my gosh, that hurts. I normally wear my contact lenses when I cook, so I don't experience this. So this is, my eyes can't take it. My eyes are not used to this. All right, let's get that stuff in there because the timer's calling my name. Okay, I've got my black eyed peas right here in the sink. I've cut them open to add to this pot of boiling neck bones. Ooh. Fogged you up a little bit there. Alright, so there they are. So you can see the water's a little cloudy because some of the flavor has released from the meat. You see it's not as much water that I first put in there, but that water now is full of flavor. So let's go ahead and get this first bag of peas and add it in here. And then get the second bag. And I didn't get a spoon. My favorite spoon right here is this little brown one. Alright, so now you can see this definitely needs some more water in there. So I didn't use enough in the beginning, so I'm going to go ahead and add some more water in here. Maybe a half cup more. Or 1 cup more. That was 2 cups to begin with, so maybe 1 more cup. Don't want it to be too much. That's perfect. So there, we're going to add that in there. Get this trash. Alright. Mix that up a bit. And we're going to turn that heat back up now because we want it to start boiling again. This is my power burner, so it gets hot pretty fast. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, these are my little standard seasonings that I use right here. We have the garlic powder. I love garlic, so I put that ish in everything, as they say. My no salt seasoning. Seasoning is where all the, that's what wakes up your food. Now there's a little salt in the, because this is my garlic and pepper seasoning. So there's a, and this is salt by the way. So there's a little salt in the smoked neck bone. So I don't want to use too much of this garlic salt right now. Here's the pepper. I'm going to have to do that off camera because I need both hands to do the little grind. Even though there's pepper in the garlic, pepper salt is not enough to me. I like more pepper in my food, and that's fresh ground pepper, so it gives more of the flavor of the pepper. Now I'm going to let this come to a boil, and then once it comes to a boil, I'm going to put it on a low simmer because I don't want all the liquid to just boil out. I want the liquid to thicken up and boil down a little so we have a nice juice. I'm also going to add a half a packet of one of these powdered bouillon cubes, and that will just impart a little bit more flavor. I have one here that I haven't used all the way, but it's not a half, so I'm going to open up another one, just use half and add this little bit, and then that will be it for this. Okay, I got all my seasonings in here. Mix it in real well, and then I'm going to put the lid back on here, bring it to a boil, and then let it simmer. And I'll probably let it simmer for probably 30 minutes on low, because again, these beans are frozen, so it's not like they had to be soaked or anything, so they're already pretty soft and they'll cook pretty quickly. So I'm gonna put the lid on that for right now. Then we're gonna move on to these greens. So let's get the greens in their pot. While we still rolling, let's take that lid off, and then let's go over here to the sinky sink. Oh, you know what? Let me rinse these off real quick. I'll be right back. I'm going to have to rinse these greens in a couple of batches, so I'm going to come back when I have all the greens actually in the pot and add the seasonings to it, and have added the seasonings. and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got all the greens in the pot and I've got all the seasonings in there, and I'm just adding, I already added 2 cups of water in here. This should be plenty. I think I just added about another cup right there. I did put 1 package of the bouillon cubes in here because I put 1 package in here because I wasn't sure if that 1 piece of neck bone was going to give all of these greens enough flavor, even though you know these greens are going to wilt down as they cook. I'm trying to see where my water levels are. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I'm going to put the lid on this and let this cook down, and then that should be okay for a while. So I'll let that cook down. Let me get my lid over here. Put that back on, and that's on a good number right there. This one hasn't started boiling yet, which I'm surprised because it's the power burner, but I'm gonna just leave it right there and allow that to simmer and let these cook as well. And then I'm gonna come back over here to finishing up cutting my vegetables. And when I cook, whenever you have a bag of some sort, you use that as a trash bag and stick all your trash in there and throw everything away at one time when you're done cooking. Just another little cooker's tip, nothing brilliant, but that's what I like to do to keep things clean and organized as I cook. And when I'm finished cutting these vegetables, I'm gonna wash that out and keep those dishes to a minimum so I don't have a big stack of dishes at the end. All right, back to these vegetables. Let's get these bad boys cut up so I can get this turkey cooking. That's the main event. Now you see, when you got a sharp knife, you can just do like that and you can get things cut up a lot quicker than with those dull knives. So let me just shut up and make it happen. Now it's time to get big boy turkey into the turkey cooker. This is what I always cook my turkeys in. I got this turkey cooker from Target probably back in around 2012, 2013 when I was doing my extreme couponing. I got this for free. Thanks to my extreme couponing, I got many things for free. This was one of them, and I have enjoyed cooking with this because it frees up your oven. If you have to cook cornbread or cakes or pies, whatever you need to use this for, now your turkey isn't in the way taking up valuable real estate. So here's the turkey. It's a 16.22 pound turkey, $25.79. I was able to get it for 47 cents a pound. So this came out to about $7.62. I've got my chopped vegetables ready to put in there, and I've got my trash ready to receive more trash. And I'm gonna go, I think I'm gonna use these oven bags this time. I got this from Dollar Tree. You get 3 bags in here. I hope, it says for turkeys, hams, and meats of 8 to 24 pounds. So hopefully that should be big enough to get this turkey in there. So I'm gonna see if I want to use that, or this is what it looks like on the inside. It's just a big container. And normally I just put it in here and let it cook. So I don't know if I use the oven bags, will it slow down the cooking? I want it to be a little neater, less messy is what I'm trying to say. So that's why I kind of want to use these bags. So let me see, I'll figure it out as I go. But let's get this turkey washed and into the pot because he needs to start cooking. This is what the oven bag looks like. And it's gonna have to go in on the side, like through here. And then they give you these little ties to close the back with. These are really, really thin. So I was hoping it was something that came up where I can just twist it at the top and it was wide, versus it was more landscape like this and opened at the top this way, versus portrait and the entrance that way. So I got to figure out how to get this in there and then get the seasonings on. So I don't know that I can do that with this camera because I need room to maneuver. So I'm just gonna have to come back when I get it done and show you what it looks like. Okay, I got them in there. So what I did was I just lifted the bag up. I just lifted it up and then just slid the bag over the turkey. I had my hand up the turkey in the middle and I just had him up in the air and I slid the bag on top of it. So now what I don't like about this bag situation is seasoning it. I'm gonna have to season it while it's in the bag, which makes it a little awkward. So I guess I'm gonna have to flip it upside down to get the bottom and then to do the same thing to get the top. So let's see how that's gonna fly. So I got my same old seasonings that I use for everything. Can't really sprinkle it the way that I want to, but I guess since it's contained in this bag, maybe, I don't know. This makes it a little awkward, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm just gonna sprinkle it the best I know I can. And I guess I'll just have to roll it around in the bag before I consider it finished. And it makes it hard to do proper amounts of seasoning as well because I don't want to do too much. What I'm going to do is flip it over. Kind of like when you marinate something and then you just kind of slide it around. I guess I'm going to do something like that. The fact that it's in the bag makes that part a little easier. Okay, well that part is good if you need to flip it. Sorry for all the noise, but this is a very noisy bag. This is just garlic powder, so, and I love garlic, so I'm okay with that. But here's salt, so I'm gonna try and go easy on the salt. Okay, let's see what I'm doing here. And then the no salt seasoning, which I love to plow that on there. If you don't have enough seasoning, your food's just going to be bland. So get that seasoning in there as much as possible. I don't think you could ever have too much unless you just put like a whole bottle in there. But you have to have some. Alright, so those are my little main seasonings. And then we're going to go ahead with the vegetables. Now let me just turn this over because I think the vegetables kind of focus on the top area and inside. Now this is just me trying to move all that seasoning around so all these pieces can get coated with what I put in there so far. Alright, so now, I know that was noisy. Ugh, so I'm going to get this bell pepper in here. Now remember, I only have one bell pepper for the dressing and for the turkey. So you got to use this one wisely. And that's the beauty of me pre-chopping this so I can see where I'm at with it. And I really needed to, bottom line, I really did. But I got the onions and the celery, so that'll bring it on home. So that's pretty much all the bell pepper that I have. Let's see, here's what's left. Maybe one more spoonful. But I really wanted to impart that flavor in this bird. And then I'm going to now add the onion. I mean the celery. So I can be a little bit liberal on the celery because I have plenty of that to go around. And I'm just going to do all this on the top. I'm not going to, obviously not going to turn this on the bottom to get celery on the bottom. I think the whole point of this bag is the flavor should permeate throughout the turkey since it's self-contained. So whatever I put in here should be good enough to get that flavor of that item into the turkey. So that's all for the celery. And then the onion, which I love onion. We'll just do half of this as well. I don't love the burn of the onion, but I love how onions smell, the flavor they give to your food. Absolutely delicious. Right, so now one more spoon, I guess will do. But see, the thing too is when I make my dressing, I'm still gonna get all of these onions and vegetables because I'm gonna use this juice of the turkey from the turkey to put in the dressing. So it's not like it's going to waste, but you still want some fresh vegetables to add to your dressing, not just the cooked ones, because then it's another fresh layer of flavor. Now that's all that I'm gonna do right now as far as the turkey, other than I'm gonna slap a few pieces of butter in here, and then I'm gonna turn it on and get it to cooking. Oh my gosh, you guys, I almost made a mistake and forgot to add the poultry seasoning. Oh my word, that's the main seasoning, the poultry seasoning. Can't forget that. What's wrong with you, girl? Poultry seasoning. Yeah, I couldn't really see how much I was putting in there. And then some sage. Ooh, kind of went ham on that poultry. Okay, let me calm down. Whew. Again, it's all in this. This is what I hate about this bag. I can't tell how much is coming out. And it's really bugging me. Okay, so there's that. I don't know about these bags, you guys. So far, I wouldn't recommend them. Just while it's fresh in my head, either I'm doing it wrong or something, but they're not easy to work with. Let me slap on some butter and then get this wrapped up in here. Come on, butter. Get off this. Ay, ay, ay. Everything gotta be this hard, huh? Yeah, this bag was not a good idea for me. I've never had these type of issues. So this is about 2/3 of the stick of butter that I'm just whopping in here, since that's what was already in my butter server. Okay, let's close this bad boy up and mash all this together and hope that I get a good turnout. I mean, I'm not worried about it cooking and whatnot, but the issue issue I had was with getting my seasonings and everything in there and in the right amounts. Now, how does this thing work here? Roll this around, and all this stuff meshed together like that. This is going to be interesting. Okay, here we go. As tight as I can get that. And we're going to turn this on to 375. And see what develops. Okay, you guys, I had to come and tell you that oven bag, these oven bags right here, are only meant to go inside the oven. It's not meant for what I'm doing here. I heard it sizzling and I heard some kind of noise. It sounded like sizzling, so I opened it up and the bag was burning up around the edges, so I had to take it out. So the turkey is now how I normally do it anyway. So lesson to be learned: don't change things in the 11th hour. Do what you know works. And I almost ruined my Christmas dinner by using that bag, and it was just too close to the edges on this thing, and it was just burning. It had burned 2 holes on either side. In this corner, this hole was burned and that hole was burned, and then on this end where I tied it up, the packaging was singeing. So I had to clean this out really good and then slide it out of the bag. Luckily I caught it very, very, very early in the process. So just a word to the wise: these oven bags right here are for the oven, and they can go up to 390 degrees. So something told me to check, and I'm so glad that I did. But I just wanted to give that public service announcement so this doesn't happen to somebody else. In the meantime, my greens are done, so I've turned them off. Don't they look delicious? And also my black-eyed peas are done as well. And ooh, there's that fog, but they're done as well. And I tasted them both. I just used my little spoon taster of each because I'm trying not to ruin my appetite. And they were both well seasoned and delicious, so I can't wait to eat. But it's going to be 3 hours before this turkey is done, so I got another, 2 hours and 50 minutes to go. So I'm going to go ahead and walk the dog, come back, make the cornbread, boil the macaroni for my macaroni and cheese, and then make the rice. Alright, you guys, I am going to go ahead and boil my noodles for my macaroni and cheese. I only have 2 packages of cheese and a little small one. All the cheese that I have are just these few little packages, so I'm not going to make a big one, just a little small one. So I don't have a lot of cheese to go ham, so probably, I guess, 2 cups of these should suffice. So we're going to get those noodles boiling and get the mac and cheese started. And I pulled everything out to make cornbread, so maybe I'll segue into that next. Alright, my macaroni and noodles are done. And now I'm going to scoop them into this baking dish. And I'm going to add my cheese, some evaporated milk, and some butter. So cheese, evaporated milk, butter. This is all the cheese I have, so I'm going to go ahead and put all that in there. I'll save that little bit to sprinkle on top, mix that in there while it's hot, and throw in a little milk and some butter. So I can't do it with, I don't have anywhere to sit the camera from this angle, so I'll come back when I have everything in the pan. Okay, I've got all my ingredients in here. I forgot to mention 2 eggs. I got all the cheese in there mixing up. I added a little black pepper on the top, and I also sprinkled a little of this chicken seasoning, just a little bit. I did about a half, maybe 1/3 of a packet of that, and then I put the milk in there, put the 2 packages of cheese. I'm going to put this on top. I sprinkled in some garlic salt, some no salt seasoning, and some black pepper, and of course I did the butter. So now I'm just letting it all sit here and mix together, and I'm going to wait until I fix my cornbread for the dressing to put them both in the oven. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, but I just wanted to get it ready ahead of time so that I can go ahead and cook them both at the same time, because I'm going to walk Lacey once I'm finished with this while we still have some daylight, and then I'm going to come back and make my cornbread, which I got that set up to go over there. So I'll get them both in the oven at the same time. And then I just have to make the rice and I'll be done. So I'm going to sprinkle the cheese on top and then put this in the fridge and go take a walk. Okay, I just came back from my walk walking Lacey, who's looking rough. She's over here eating her food. Lacey, say hi. Say hi. Yeah, I gotta groom her, but that'll happen tomorrow. But yeah, here's the turkey. It shows that I have 22 minutes left. I set it for 3 hours, but it's looking like that right now. The thermometer that's in there hasn't popped out, but it's looking pretty done. Look at this nice browning I got up here. And her leg, you see this leg right here popped open, and my when I came back, my lid on this thing was a little ajar like this, like that was popped out, and I'm like, who's been in my house? And then I opened it up and I saw that leg popped out. So she's looking pretty done, but I'm gonna let her go. Actually, I think she's done, to be honest. She's definitely done. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off, because I cooked her at, oh, I thought that said 375. Looks like it was on 400. So I just turned the power off to off. I can't even talk. I must be tired. So I'm just gonna let her sit here and marinate right there. And I'm gonna come over here now and do my cornbread. This is my standard little cornbread recipe that I follow. I alter it a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and make this much cornbread so I can have that much dressing to use, because I use the juice from the turkey and it looked like it produced a lot of juice for me. So I'm gonna be able to use it for this dressing. So let me jump into that, and yeah, and then I'm gonna put that in the oven with my mac and cheese. And I thought too, while I was at it, I might go ahead and make a banana bread since I have the oven on, and I took out some frozen bananas to thaw out a little bit so I could use it for some banana bread, since I haven't had that in a while. So I guess let me go wash my hands, get comfortable, and get busy. Lacey, is that good? You look rough, my friend. This child looks rough. All right, I'll see you soon. All right, I'm making this cornbread, so let's see where I can put you. Hopefully that's getting it. So I got a cup. I'm doubling the recipe, so I got 2 cups of flour and 2 cups of cornmeal, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, and I'm gonna add it's a cup of milk. So I'm gonna do 2 cups of milk, and I'm using this leftover evaporated milk. This is a cup right here, so I'll do this cup of milk. You can use milk or water. I normally use water, but I had that milk available, so I just went ahead and used that. Then I'm gonna put water in. I think it's going to end up being a little bit more than just a cup each because I don't want mine too thick. So we're going to add in some water. Oh, was that too much? Oh my gosh. Let's see. I still need to put in an egg. Two eggs actually. There's one. Second egg, and then 1/3 cup of shortening or oil, so I like to use olive oil. Here's a 1/3 cup, so we're going to double that. Everything. Got the milk, egg, shortening, salt, baking powder. I didn't put sugar. It calls for sugar. I don't like sweet cornbread, so give that a nice mix so that part in the middle can get mixed in there. I hope that's not too loose. That in the middle here needs to be looking a little loose because all this is collected here in the middle. And this is a first. Let's try it again. Don't try this at home. I didn't even read the order of how this is supposed to be mixed, so process a little bit. All right. Yeah, that looks a lot better. All the way down on the bottom. Okay, so let me get my pan ready. Pop this in it. I hope I made enough. pop this in the oven along with that mac and cheese for, how long does it say on here? For dressing, I just want it to cook all the way through, but it doesn't have to brown because I'm putting it in the dressing. I mean, I'm using it for dressing, so hopefully the 25 minutes will be enough. Alright, I'm waiting for the oven to heat up so I can put these into the oven. The instructions for the cornbread said put it in a 400-degree oven. So I'm putting it on 375 because that might be a little bit too hot for that, and I don't need this to brown. But I'm going to take these crackers and crumble them across the top. I know Janaya didn't like when I do that, but I like the extra layer of, oh, there's my oven, it's ready now. But I like the extra layer that I get when I crumble these on across the top, just to have a little crumbs, a different texture that it provides. So I like adding this. And these are just little mini toast. And it's just going to be nice to brown on the top and melt into this cheese. So I'm going to put these on here, and then I'm going to pop these in the oven now that it's ready. And again, I set the oven to 375 versus 400. So both of these can cook nicely. And then I'm going to put together my ingredients for my banana bread. Okay, just want to make sure I get enough crumbs. All over. This is going to help soak up some of the milk and butter. I like it. Alright, I have made my banana bread batter. Get it in the pans. I have the recipe to this on my channel already. I've already made this a video. I think I call it the fully loaded banana nut bread recipe. I always do 2. Now this one, I will say, I was very impatient. I did not have room temperature butter, and I didn't put the ingredients in the right order. I just put everything in the bowl and mixed it together. So we'll see how this one comes out, but I'm getting a little tired now. It's about 6 o'clock or so, going on 7. And I have everything done except for I just have to put some rice in the rice cooker, and it is a wrap. Let this banana bread oh, then I have to make the dressing. But as far as cooking anything else from, mixing stuff up, I just have the dressing to do, and it's calling me now, telling me that the mac and cheese and that's my alarm to look at them to see if they're ready yet. So I'll check them out once I get this in the oven, and then I can sit down and take a rest. Because I'm tired. I'm feeling it. I am feeling it. I am feeling it. Alright, let me stop because I'm rambling. Here is the cornbread hot out of the oven. I like to rub some butter across the top. Like that. Just gives it a little bit more flavor, so when I put it in the dressing, it has some little flavor to it already. Butter makes everything taste better. So we're just going to let that soak in, and then I'm going to let that cool off so that I can make the dressing. It's a little too hot right now for me to break it up, but that's enough butter And then here is the macaroni and cheese. This angle, so those croutons got nice and crispy on the top, and browned a little bit more. So that's that. And the banana breads are in the oven here, so that'll be another 40 minutes, and I'm just gonna make the rice and be done with it. Well, I'll be done after I make the dressing, but this has to cool down. And then I can make the rice, and turkey's pretty cool, so I can get the juice from there. And we're almost done here. I'm in the home stretch, but I am exhausted. I'm feeling it. All right, you guys, I'm just getting my cornbread out of the pan. I'm just scooping it up like this. Nothing fancy. I'm putting it into the bowl right here, so we can let it continue to cool. It's a little warm now. Still got a little heat to it, but it's cool enough to handle with this spoon. So we're just gonna push all of this in here and break it up, break it up, break it up, break it up. Add some the vegetables, the remaining vegetables that I cut up, and the juice from the turkey and the seasonings. And I put it back in the oven in this same pan and let it settle down, and then we are done. I have the rice cooking in the rice cooker over there. There's all of that. And like I said, I'm going to put all this right back. Once I mix everything up, it's all going to go right back in the same baking dish. Put it in the oven and let it set. Let all those flavors mesh together. And then that will be it. Alright, so I'm going to put in these bell peppers. It's the perfect amount. And then I'm going to put in the celery. Perfect amount on that as well. And then the onions. I think this all worked out just great. Just this alone smells delicious. Oh my gosh. So now I need the poultry seasoning on my standard seasonings that I've been using all day. I need those, and juice is gonna tie everything together. And I'm gonna drop a few pieces of butter in here as well. Oh, and I'm gonna put in, I cut up the giblets, whatever those, the liver, the giblets and all that. I cut those up and put it in here as well. If you're squeamish and don't like those, obviously you would leave it out, but they don't bother me. Alright, so I put some garlic in here. Forgot to use my garlic all day today, so I just put that little bit in there. My minced garlic. And then this is the garlic salt that I like, the garlic powder that I like so much. This is some sage. And the poultry seasoning, the most important season of all. Ooh. Trying to set me up here. Alright, then my no salt seasoning that I like to use. garlic, salt, and pepper. Just go light on the salt because I don't want anything to be too salty. That was a went up my nose. And then just some freshly ground black pepper. Now I just need to go get the juice from the turkey and mix it all up. And then we're going to taste it and make sure everything's nice and balanced. I'm just going to mix this in while I can, because the juice is going to add some salt as well. And remember, it's going to have the other vegetables that have cooked down. So it's going to be a lot of vegetables in here. And I got to get the giblets. Alright, I just fished out the giblets. Cut them up. And my nail came off. Actually, I wanted them to come off. I want them all to come off, which is why I haven't used a glove or anything today. But this, you just want to chop up little fine pieces and sprinkle it in there. This is good enough right here. Perfect. Alright, last thing is the juicy juice. We can get it mixed and pop it in that pan. Call it a day. Alright, here is the first round of juice. I got 2 cups. 4. So let's put all this in here. There's definitely more in there if I need it. This is my favorite part of the dressing when it's at this stage, before it even cooks. Oh, growing up, I used to wait till my mother got to this point so I could be her taste tester. And I don't know, this tastes better to me in this. I mean, I like it when it's done as well, but this stage, oh my gosh. I can definitely use a little bit more, because as this cooks, it'll dry out, so I don't want it to be too stiff. So I'm gonna go get some more juice. Alright, it is done. Perfect consistency. It's got enough seasonings, enough salt, enough pepper. Oh my gosh, it's delicious. And I'm going to have a bowl of it just like this. My favorite stage. Let that cook in the oven for probably maybe another 20-25 minutes until the top is nice and golden brown. And then we will be done. The rice is cooked. The banana nut breads are cooked. Let me show you those really quick. There are the banana nut breads. They're nice and brown and cooked. Here's the rice. That's all done and cooked. Ooh, just finished cooking. So yeah, it's been a long day, but we did it. So we just need to get this in the oven right here. And call this a day, because I'm tired now. I have no energy left for nothing but to eat something. and it's going to be this dressing. So let's just smooth this in here, make it look pretty. Put that back in the oven, and we're good to go. So that, my friends, is my Christmas, traditional Christmas meal. I don't do ham, I only do turkey. And this year I didn't cook for Thanksgiving, and I wanted to definitely cook for Christmas. So I hope you enjoyed this video and got some tips on how to make a delicious turkey dinner, MickeyB style. Okay, that's what it looks like before I put it in the oven. Alright, here is the end of the dish. This is the turkey. I just left him in there. It's the end of the day. It's about 10 o'clock. I fell asleep. I was exhausted, so I didn't even eat anything yet. So there's the turkey. And then from there we move on to, there's the rice, the black-eyed peas, the collard greens, and then we have the dressing and the mac and cheese with the cracker topping. It looks kind of dark on camera. Let's see if this is any better. Okay, is that better on the lighting? Yeah, so there's the rice, the black-eyed peas, the collard greens. If this lighting isn't right, sorry. I just can't, I don't have the energy to make it right any better than this. Oh, and then here are the 2 banana nut breads, 2 loaves. I'll just put them in a Ziploc bag for now. So that's what it came out to be. And I enjoyed cooking, but I'll tell you, I won't be doing this again anytime soon. So now I just need to put everything away. Just the dressing, the mac and cheese, and the turkey. Normally I just break it off, cut it up like you cut a whole piece chicken, and then just portion it that way. And put parts in the freezer, and then put some in the fridge to eat, because I don't mind leftovers. I'm a leftover girl. Grew up eating leftovers and look forward to happily eating these. So you guys, thanks for joining me today on today's journey in Janaya. I hope you made good notes on how to prepare our Thanksgiving dinner for your family when you make that step in your life. Alright you guys, I'm so tired. I hope you all had a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season.